foundation of human understanding teaches an observation exercise, often called meditation, which permits you to become objective toward your problems and allows your heartaches, bad habits, fears, and anxieties to be completely eliminated from your life without effort on your part. Until you have begun to practice this exercise, much of what you see and hear on the following program may be shocking and upsetting to you. But if you will listen calmly and with an open mind, you may discover the key to the peace of mind and joy for which you've been searching all of your life. And now, from the foundation of human understanding, here is Roy Masters.
Hello. Now, you know, I don't hold it back, I am an expert hypnotist. I can walk in the street and walk up to someone and put them into a trance. Just by asking them, do you have a dime? I need to put it in my car parking. It's so easy and so tempting to take advantage of a person. You have no idea how easy it is, but you have to have a certain disposition. And I don't have that disposition to take advantage of people, which I could. I could be very rich and wicked. Because it's not good to understand, to know that, and play with it to your advantage, where the person the victim does not understand it and doesn't see it or ever sees it. The victim never sees what is done to that person, and you can make him a friend while you are a fiend, and he won't see it. And when he does see it, or she does see it, they get angry. But the anger only emboldens me, or a wicked person like me, to do more to that, because anger is the key. The anger is the key to everything that's going to be wrong with you. And for me to change my attitude from intimidating them to take a grip of who they are, then I can change it to being friendly, so appease them. Let me say it quickly. Hypnotic states are twofold, and both one aids the other. Cruelty, to make you angry, and then pretend to be sorry so they love you. And you embrace what you put in them. First you upset them and put yourself in them. And then if you wish to make it worse, you can make it worse by making them more angry. Or you can, until they want to stop. Please don't hurt me, please don't. That's the kind of thing. And it doesn't have to come out exactly like that, but to irritate them, and not pretend like you don't see it, like you're not doing anything wrong. And then I could say, and put my arms around you and say, I didn't really mean to hurt you. I did. And then the false love emboldens what I put inside you. Who understands that? Who understands that? What are you signaling me for?
No, I understand it.
What does that mean?
That means I understand what you just said.
Oh yeah, but you don't want to do that because you're behind the camera. I thought you were going to give me a signal of some kind. I'm going to give you a signal in a minute, and you won't like it. And it won't be a pretty signal. Look, we do a little ad-libbing here. This is not one of those rigid shows, I hope. But what I want to do here is connect hate and love. You know, judgment is another way of saying hate, right? But then it becomes judgment is mine, saith the Lord, and we are playing God. But at the same time, there's another side to it, and it's forgiveness. So you can be upset and then you can forgive. But you break two laws because only God can forgive. You can't forgive, especially when you've screwed them in their head. And then you turn around and say, I forgive you, or I'm sorry. That's a killer. Now, nearly everybody on earth walks around with that state of mind. That's why I could walk up to a person in the street and do it. But I don't. So don't think I'm braggadocious, I can do it. But I have a conscience. So that makes me want to share with you what the bad guys never will share with you. Because that is the way politics work. You lie. Yes, you lie, and you lie, and you lie. And lie is the truth, and truth is the lie. And that is the reason why it's juxtaposed against virtue. So a person who loves the truth. Now, whatever that means to love the truth is mystical. Because you can say, I love the truth, and you go to church. But it doesn't mean to say you love the truth. You just love the word, verses, and chapters. And if you stand on the stage, you get applause. See? So that doesn't make you a Christian. There's got to be a love of the truth. It's a longing. It's a longing. And so there's another kind of longing, a longing for the love of the world. And the longing for the love of the world is because you've been screwed the way I just described, because there's something's missing. I've disconnected you from God and connected you to me. And then I'm your God. And you've got to be very careful, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to me on TV. Don't put me on a pedestal. Because it's a game you play to make me a God so I can forgive you, or this God can love you. And then if you do this, it does great harm. And so I just want to start out on that. But now I want to come to the sex part and the eating part. Because there's something about sex, or let's start with eating. The impulse, the addiction to food, we are born with it. And the addiction, the awakening of sex in an improprietous way is born into you when you get to be old enough, where it appears, so to speak. And this is not easy to say, and I've done the best to say to begin with, but what you know about hypnosis or sin, the hypnotist is a tempter or a temptress. And then the person who is tempted is a sinner. And therefore all sins are slaves. And you cannot reverse it. You need redemption. You only have to be upset once. You see, you only have to accept, not pride, but you only have to accept a gift which is loaded. Like the little girl, Maggie. You heard me talk about over and over again. She's young enough. So when she says, can I say no to my grandma because she's giving me all these toys, I don't want them. I said, you feel the pull. She says, yes, I feel the pull. I said, that's temptation. Don't go with it ever. But if I say to that little girl, well, since I'm trying to find a word, a part of the culture, which is polite. Please, don't be mean to your grandma, even though she's a bitch. Actually, we all know. But just don't hurt her feelings. Then I would have ruined the child. I've given her the wrong information. See? And so, but once if if that moment, if I didn't catch that moment, if that little girl didn't call me and say, Grandpa, what about this? I said, well, you felt the pull. Then the answer is, anytime you feel that pull, don't go near it. Just hold your ground. And if you hold your ground, they'll get angry because they fail. They're like animals. They want to eat you. And so if you give in to that, you're giving something of yourself to them. So literally, they mentally eat you because they degrade you by giving into that. And then you become a little bit like them. So in the sense that I could catch that little girl in that, and it will cover everything. That means pull. Then it comes to push, which is intimidation. Then that's another thing. So I've spoken to her on both those things, and her whole family got better because of her. She even was able to convince her father how wrong he was. 9 years old. Now, the pull or the push, which makes you angry, pressure. Once you give in, only once, you can never recover. I want to emphasize that. You can never recover until you find redemption from it. And you will have to go through a whole life of going along to get along and getting upset, going along to get along and feeling guilty and then trying to be nice to the person, hoping that they will love you back, and you've got your love back and you don't, more's gone. In other words, it's post-hypnotic conditioning. So nobody has to be there. You're left alone with the mess in your head. And in the beginning, it isn't so noticeable, all except you feel anxiety. But you can still see what's right and wrong, but you either become too aggressive when people attack you, and then you become more angry. See, it begins. Or you become more passive to go along, to get along, and that's part of it. That's a post-hypnotic suggestion. And that's all you got. And either one will kill you, will continue the path of your death and demise. Ladies and gentlemen, juveniles and crocodiles, please understand that that is simple to understand. If you have any anger, if you have any appeasing attitude, or you are both. 1 minute you appease, and 1 minute you angry. And when they're angry, then you appease, and you say, what a nice person. There's a name for that particular kind of behavior. Thank you.